Hello and welcome to my channel No Labels Allowed. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you're joining me again, hello, thank you for coming back, and if you're new, I'm Amber. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I have auditory processing disorder, and basically I don't like labels because it shouldn't be defined by labels and blah blah blah. If you want to know about that, you know, go back and look at them videos. I won't bore you, to anyone who has been watching them. But today I am going to be talking about socialising with auditory processing disorder. I don't really know overly how many tips and tricks, I guess, I have for this, but I thought I'd just go into detail just in case anyone is interested in knowing how it is to deal with it. And like I have said in all my videos, this is just me personally. I'm not saying anyone who has this feels the same, but you know, if you do feel the same, please let me know, comment down below. So socialising with auditory processing disorder can be hard sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to sugarcoat it and just be like, yeah, no, it's fine, because you know, half the time it is pretty damn difficult. It depends where you are, what environment you're in, who you're with, how many people are speaking, how loud it is. So basically, when you're in a situation with all of them factors put together, it is hard. Like, the worst place you can be is in a group of people, in a really loud environment, everyone talking at the same time. Like, that is just caught of disaster. You will, well, I will just stand there and just be like, okay, I am totally lost with what is going on. And then when you want to try and speak, like to join in with the conversation with everyone, it's really hard, because by the time you have thought about what you want to say, because you're trying to keep up with the conversation, you end up not being able to say anything, because that time period of what you was going to say has gone. And yeah, so it just makes it really difficult, and it makes it like pretty awkward sometimes, because people are like, oh look, you're really quiet, you're really shy, or blah blah blah, and sometimes it's just like, well, I've lost the conversation. And especially when it's really loud, like the loudness of like other things that are going on. So just say, for an example, you're in a room with loads of people and other people having separate conversations, and you're having a conversation with, you know, one other person or some other people. It is so hard to try and tune out what you can hear, because when you're talking to the person you're talking to, all you can hear is just background noise, and it's really hard to hear that person and follow the conversation. And obviously a tip would be to try and lip read, sorry. But sometimes, like, I don't know, this is just me, but sometimes I find it really awkward just staring at people's lips. Like, you would think that would be the best way, but like sometimes, like, I try and do it and then I'm like, oh my god, this is really awkward because I'm just staring at your lips. But at the same time, if I don't do this, I'm not going to really hear you, so you're kind of guessing the conversation. And it has been that time in the past where you've been in a conversation with someone, didn't overly hear everything that's been said, and you say something completely different and they're like, what? And I'm like, oh. It depends who you're with as well. Like, people I know, I can just be like, what? Or like, I can't hear you, or blah blah. But when you're with someone like new, or someone you're not as comfortable around, it's kind of harder to kind of express that. But it's just something you've just got to find little ways, and you've got to be comfortable with knowing, like, obviously I've got auditory processing disorder. I need to be comfortable in knowing I have that. I need to understand that I have that, and then I just need to not put so much pressure on myself to try and jump in the conversation and think, oh my god, if I just stand here I'm going to look really like awkward and I'm going to look quiet. It doesn't matter if you look like that, that's fine. Like, just, I need to think, it's not like, I know what's going on. If I don't want to tell people aren't actually going to know that I have this. And I'm not going to lie to you, I don't go to people, oh hey, I can't follow a conversation because I've got auditory processing disorder. I do not say that. Like, you know, fair play if you do say that, because that's good, that's amazing. But I personally just couldn't go up to random people, because I want to be like, what, I'm 2, I don't want to get into it, and 3, like I don't want them to kind of be like, well, we're not gonna like carry on talking to you because like blah blah, you have this, that, and you know, it's just long. But it does, like, it isn't always the case. And well, I say it isn't always the case, it depends how big the group is and what environment you're in. But you know, like sometimes I would just say, if you are in that situation, you can always just kind of take yourself out of that situation if possible. Like you can always just, you know, talk to someone who might, you know, not also be in the conversation, and then just try to go one-to-one in a more of a quieter environment. I don't know, like there are just little ways to deal with it. But yeah, no, I just find like background noise or other people talking when you're trying to talk to like someone is so hard. Like if you go into a bar and it's so noisy, like I remember going into this bar once with my mum, and it was a really compact small bar, and all the tables were near, and it was so noisy in there, and it was just so hard to hear. To be fair, I think most people would find it hard to hear in there, but I literally couldn't hear anything. It was just like muffling. So when you try and have a conversation, it's just like I've probably lost half the stuff you have said. So yeah, I think you just got to realise that you have it, and you know, don't always put so much pressure on yourself in them situations, especially with like talking to people. And do you know what, if you know, if you don't feel comfortable in a situation, don't put so much pressure on yourself and make yourself think, oh look, I'm not worthy of this conversation. It's just, you know, I must look, you know, this, that, and whatever. When you know that's not the case. And you know, I can easily hold a conversation. I'm not saying I can't hold a conversation. It's just sometimes people being aware would be easier. But again, I wouldn't say that that's always the case. I can't always make people aware. I'm not just going to stop the conversation and be like, oh hey guys, look, I've got this, can we slow the conversation down? Because people just be like, no, what, you know, you know, it's unfortunate I have it, but I just need to find ways to deal with it. And I don't know if anyone else has it, and you know, they have like ways to deal with it. I would love to know, like please get in contact with me. It'd just be interesting to know, like, because I'd love to sit here and be like, oh yeah, you know, this, that, and whatever to help. But sometimes I feel like if we just talk about these things and like other people are going through the same thing, it's just nice to know, isn't it? Like people going through the same situations and having the same kind of like, I don't know, like day-to-day kind of like struggles, but like just make it normal. And you know, if we talk about it, it'll just make it easier. Sometimes you can feel so small in a situation when there's so many other people, you know, especially like, you know, loud people and everything that's going on. Like if you're in like a group conversation or just in a situation with someone, but it's just loud all around you, like it could just make you feel so little, when really it's not. Because you can hold a conversation, you can talk, you can, you know, follow what's going on. It's just that there's other factors right now in that situation that you're in that are just impacting not being able to hear or follow the conversation in that way. So you know, I think you just always got to remember, don't let it define you. Don't make you feel little when it shouldn't, because it's just that situation. You just got to deal with that situation when it happens, and you know, accept it. At this moment in time there is no cure for it, so you just got to find little ways to help it, really. I mean, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, if I've had alcohol, I can probably follow a conversation better because I can guess, and you get a bit more confident, so you don't mind staring at people's lips. I don't know why I find that. I don't know why I find that so awkward. I don't know. Is that just a me thing, or do other people find it really awkward? But when you've obviously had like a little, you know, a little drink, I don't know. I feel like you can guess more, or you lip read, or you know, you can just. It's like if you are saying something different to the conversation someone else drinking, they'll probably just change the subject anyway. So it's just like, it's a much more easier environment to be in than just say you're at work in a group trying to talk. It's just, and sometimes like when people talk with a really strong accent as well, that is hard. Like yeah, and that, especially trying to be social, like talking to like new people and they have a really strong accent, and it's just like, I just feel so rude saying what, or what are you saying, like not what, I don't go, oh what are you saying, so I just like, pardon, or you know, can you repeat that or something, and you're literally saying it about 5 times and you're like, yeah, this isn't happening. But I would just say, like, to anyone who just find it hard in them situations, just accept, I think that's what it is, just accept it. Just find little ways that will help you just feel more comfortable in that situation, and don't belittle yourself. Don't just sit there and just panic and be like, oh my god, I need to say something, or think, if I don't say anything I'm going to look this way or that way, because I've kind of accepted in them situations now that I don't have to say something. I don't have to say something to look confident. I don't have to say something to feel like I'm fitting in with the conversation. If I can't follow the conversation because of other aspects, and when loads of people are talking at the same time and it all just gets too much because you can't follow the conversation, and by the time you say something someone else has said it and the conversation has passed, don't put so much pressure, because the more you sit there and you start to panic like you're not saying anything, it's the more jumbled up everything gets, and then the situation goes from like being, oh god, a little bit bad, to like, oh my god, there's no point of me being here. Like, it's not, you just need to take a step back, calm yourself, just sit there for a bit, you know, if you need to just, if you can't follow the conversation, just sit there for a bit. At one point the conversation is going to start to slow down, people might, you know, go off, or less people might start talking, and then you can get into the conversation. You don't have to be in the conversation when everyone's talking if you can't follow it. Like, it isn't a rule of life, you have to get into that to fit in, because it isn't always the case. If you can't do something, don't put more pressure on yourself to do it. Don't put more pressure on yourself to do it if you can't do it, because you end up just making the situation worse. You might end up coming away from the conversation just like feeling even like worse than what you did like when you was in the conversation, and then you know, like, it just seems like unnecessary, like, confusion, or not confusion, but what's the word I'm looking for, like, just unnecessary, like, pressure you're putting on yourself, and then unnecessary feelings that you have towards yourself because you didn't do a certain thing. But yeah, I would just definitely just take it one step at a time and find little ways. And like I said, I would never go in a conversation and be like, oh guys, I have this, let's slow down, let's go somewhere, like, you know. So when you're in work, you can't go anywhere quiet at all, because most of the time, depends where you work obviously, but a lot of places are loud and you're not going to be able to just go away in a quiet room and have a conversation. You just got to accept it sometimes, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. So yeah, I'm still waffling on. I said that earlier. Maybe that should be a new word, waffling instead of waffling. I might use that now. Could be my new I don't know, slogan or something. Waffling. Yeah, so I'm literally just sitting here having a conversation about waffling. Okay, I need to stop. And I think I did get a bit like too ingrained into that, but that is just how I feel. And to anyone who's out there, please just take that if you ever do feel so little in a conversation, because you're not, and it doesn't matter what people think. Sometimes you will have your chance to show everyone who you are, and in certain situations it is harder. Well, you know, we'll get there and we will find tips. I will, as I go on in these videos, if I ever find like little tips on like certain situations that I've been in, I will let you guys know, and it might help. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I really do appreciate it. If you got to the end, well done, because I think I did just waffle. God, I'm so bad. I need to stop. Right, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you guys soon for the next video. Not too sure what it'll be yet, but I will definitely cover another topic really soon. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.